This is the type of story every man needs to hear and know about, so make sure to share specifically this story. You're a guy, you're driving somewhere on the side of a road, or maybe next to a broken down car, or in a parking lot in a bad neighborhood. You see a woman. She's sitting on the side of the road. She's barefoot. Maybe she looks like she's been distressed. She's crying. You pull up and you say, "Hey, do you need some help?" And they just ask for a ride to go somewhere. You look around, you say, "It's not a great area. I'm going to help this person out." You hear along the way that she's a mother of 5. You say, "Hey, I'm doing the right thing." You go to bed that night and you feel a little better about yourself. You made the world a little bit better. Only to have her turn around and falsely accuse you of rape. And it might just ruin your life. This is why good men no longer do good deeds. This is why men say, screw society, screw women, screw everybody that wants anything to do with me, because I do the right thing, and for it, I get punished. And my life could have been ruined, except I was smart enough to turn on my phone and record the interaction. And that's literally what happened to this guy. This comes from the Daily Mail. Mother of 5 who falsely accused Good Samaritan of rape after he gave her a lift home when he found her drunk and crying in the street. She has been jailed. Now, this is the biggest problem I have with all of this before I even get into the story. Had this guy not been smart enough to turn on recording equipment on his phone, he'd probably be looking at 15 to 20 years. But because he was smart enough to protect himself, she's going to get 2. I am in full support that if a woman is found falsely accusing a man, she needs to serve the minimum time that a man would serve if he was found guilty of that crime. So if the crime for rape is 15, anywhere between 7 and 15 years, or 10 and 20 years, depending on what area you're in, because we're extremely soft on crime anymore, the woman should have to serve at least the minimum of that. 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is. We need to shut this down hard, because there's many instances where this isn't discovered. And if this guy didn't have his phone on him and he wasn't smart about it, he would be fried right now. Before we get into the main story, let's hear from today's sponsor, NMN from Black Forest Supplements. Why is nobody talking about these hidden performance experiments connected to our military? Just hear what Tony Robbins has to say in this clip.
Your sirtuins do 2 things. First, they turn on and off genes. Well, they also have a competing component, because they can only do so much, which is cleaning up your DNA. These sirtuins have a fuel that you've probably heard of called NAD. So NAD is wonderful, but NAD is a size molecule that, as you probably know, needs a precursor called NMN to actually get into the body. For 2 years, top secret, they have been working with our military, with our special forces. And about a month and a half ago in Boston, the commander got so excited, he slipped the beans. And it was just in the Daily Mail last week as well. What's been reported is the commander said, these are the strongest humans alive, both men and women in the special forces, the most people, right? Endurance has exploded, he said, very much like the mice. He said, secondly, muscle development is completely changed from the same stimulus, like the same workout, they're getting more muscle. And then thirdly, the most important thing for them is cognition has gone through the roof, because when you're exhausted and you're out there in special forces, the ability to use your head is more valuable than your body.
What David Sinclair and his research team did first was test this compound on mice. On NMN, within just 2 weeks, these mice were running 200 to 300% more than even the youngest and strongest ones in the group, and this didn't stop at animal research. For over 2 years, this compound has been studied in performance and resilience programs connected to military readiness, and the human responses closely mirrored what they saw in the mice, meaning your cells regain the ability to turn energy production on and off more efficiently again. NAD is a molecule your body has a ton of when you're young, but by the time you hit 40, your NAD levels are cut in half, and that decline is one of the main triggers of aging. This decline doesn't come from pain or alarms. It shows up quietly. At first, your energy goes, then your recovery. Then one day you wake up and realize your body just doesn't respond the way it used to. But you can't take NAD directly and get anti-aging or energy benefits. Listen to what Gary Brecka, a biologist with over 2 decades of experience, has to say.
NAD, it's actually not NAD, it's NAD+, and that little positive is the reduced form of NAD, which means that charge can't really pass through first-pass metabolism. You can't just drop NAD into the stomach. It will just immediately dissociate.
What your body actually uses is NMN because NMN is the precursor your cells convert into NAD naturally. Restoring NAD is about slowing the internal breakdown most people accept as normal aging. The stiffness, the slower recovery, the feeling that your body is working against you. That all starts at the cellular level. A Harvard clinical trial found that 1,000 milligrams of NMN daily safely increased NAD+ levels by up to 2 times. Researchers also observed reductions in fat mass, cholesterol, and blood pressure, confirming NMN's potential to reverse key markers or metabolic aging. In Europe, they banned this in 2022, not because it's dangerous, but because it works too damn well and Big Pharma is trying to develop a $3,000 version of this stuff. They're trying to ban the cheaper versions. This is personally the only NMN I use, Black Forest NMN. It's not only GMO-free, it's made in the United States and third-party tested. It has bifurine, which increases the bioavailability of NMN by roughly 30%, the same dosage used in the experiments conducted at Harvard. So if you want to try some, I'll leave the link down below. And the best part is that Black Forest just launched and extended their amazing New Year, New Me biggest deal of the year. Buy one, get one free off their best-selling NMN product. Available for 48 hours only, so grab yours now. Discount codes and links are below. The mother of 5 who was falsely accused, the Good Samaritan, she's been jailed for only 2 years. Rachel Jones, 38, was led away to the cells. A judge warned that her actions could prompt men to think, no way am I stopping for a lone female, however distressed she looks. Correct. Which is the worst thing you can do to a society, is a bad woman now punishes not just this guy. She punishes every other woman out there that actually needs help and needs a Good Samaritan, because men like myself and other men hear this, and if I don't have my phone on me or the battery's dead, I might say to myself, I'd really like to help you, lady, but I'm sorry. I don't have a way to prove my innocence. I'm going to keep trucking along. And then that woman ends up hating men, when who she really should be hating is the women that do this to their own kind, which is womanhood. She'd been returning home from a drunken night out with friends at midnight when she was ordered out of a taxi for arguing with the driver. So number one, she didn't have very good friends that just let her go off into the night after drinking. Number two, she brought it on herself for arguing with the taxi driver. Had she just kept her mouth shut or been nice, she would have been fine. All of this she's brought on herself so far. Innocent father-to-be Salim Ulya, who was driving past, was so concerned about her distressed demeanor that he stopped and offered her a ride home. But after he dropped off Jones and rebuffed her pleas to give him a hug, she falsely alleged she had been lured into the car and raped by Mr. Ulya and 2 Pakistani men in a lay-by. The 33-year-old was subsequently traced through his number plate and arrested at his Stoke-on-Trent home. We hear all the time about these Muslim rape gangs that have been going around in the UK and harming younger white women. And it is happening. That is a thing, right? We can admit they haven't done any inquiries into it. It is a thing that happens. But now you're going to accuse an innocent guy of it, and the public is just going to assume he's guilty. Number one, because she's a woman. Number two, because there have been other problems with men, Pakistani men in the UK. So instantly, here's a guy that actually was kind and doing the right thing, and now he's been double guilted before he even gets started. He was held in a police cell for 30 hours, during which he had to submit an intrusive examinations and was the subject of malicious gossip in his neighborhood before detectives concluded nothing had taken place. Inquiries revealed Mr. Ulya had the foresight to record his encounter on his mobile phone and provide the footage to police to help exonerate him, a court heard. You just don't look at somebody like this and assume this is the face of evil. But now you have to. Now you must assume you're not safe. As a guy, you must assume the worst. And then you need to think about, do you really want to do something? Do you want to be putting your life at risk or your freedom at risk to help a stranger, no matter how sweet and innocent they look? In this photo, she looks a little Gollum-esque. Her eyes are kind of big, and she's got that whole Gollum thing looking on, wrinkles on her face. Man, Let me just tell you, photo filters, they need to be banned. That's all I'm saying. In a statement, he said, "My wife was 6 months pregnant at the time, and this allegation brought us a lot of stress. I should have been fully there for my wife. However, we were worried about what would happen at the end of the case. I was worried I might not be there for the birth of my baby, and I just felt lucky I recorded the incident." Part of the reason that dating in the real world is at a all-time low and everybody's using the dating apps is because the dating apps, at least you can say, I knew she wanted to go on a date because she was on a dating app. She matched with me. We communicated. We changed numbers. We exchanged where we're going to meet up. And there's a text history so that if something went wrong, you could probably subpoena the match company and get the text to show you had a normal conversation. You agreed to match up. Now, that still doesn't protect you 100%, but at least there's a safe way to try to meet women, ironically. Now, the women always say men are harmful and men can be bad and men are dangerous. And yes, several of them can be, but it's just as dangerous for men now without having some sort of validation that they did the right thing. So men are naturally now scared of women. They're cautious of women because they don't even know if the woman's going to be receptive. You know, back when I dated and when I was kind of in the dating market, the biggest risk to me, because this was back before cell phones really were much of a thing. It was back in the world of pagers. That's how old I am. If you went up to a woman and she said no, or she could make fun of you, she could call you names, whatever. The most you felt was the humiliation of her rejecting you and maybe 3 or 4 people around you rejecting you. Today, now you have the risk of getting blasted on social media, having your picture taken, being recorded, being put in a database that some of these women have started up online that were eventually broken into and ended up going nowhere. But they're finding ways to punish men for just naturally going up and talking to somebody. Now, when there's a genuine risk that she can just make something up off the top of her head, and you do happen to be a Pakistani man who already has the English populace frowning upon you because of many of what your brethren have done, and I'll be honest with you, rightfully so. You know, you have your community that has done many harms to the English people, so they're naturally leery of you. You now are doubly cursed. And so I don't blame him for using his phone to record it, and I don't blame men for not initiating conversations with women, avoiding them at workplaces, avoiding helping them. Women have made themselves the enemy of men, even when they need help. They've done it to themselves time and time again. And when men hear stories like this, which they should be well aware of, they're going to continue to avoid women because they don't want to risk their own fate to some crazy woman's imaginations. The judge continued on, saying it was fortunate that Mr. Ulya had the foresight to record the conversation in the car. The judge said, does not bear thinking about the consequences had he not done so. When I've done these videos before, many guys in the comments down below say, now some say I've avoided women in checkout lines. I avoid women taxi drivers. I avoid women bartenders. There are men that I do think maybe take it a bit too far and say that they ignore women in their lives at all times as much as possible. But the more you hear stories like this, part of you does have to wonder, maybe those guys are right. I'm just going to avoid putting myself in any circumstance. And yes, I may be overly careful, but at least the odds of something happening to me wrongly are much, much more minimized. And there is a point when if a man feels like, do I need to record this date? Do I need to have my phone at least recording audio, if not video? How do I need to go to a public place? Do I need to go somewhere where there's no alcohol involved? Do I need to be prepared in case something goes wrong? A lot of guys will think to themselves, and once again, rightfully so, you know what? This isn't worth the hassle. This isn't worth me going out of my way to try to date somebody. I'm just going to stick around with some guy friends, maybe watch a little content on the internet to get my needs met, and then I'm going to play some video games and go to bed. You can't blame the guys for just being petrified of women. The judge continues on about the fact that he recorded the conversation in the car. He said, I have no doubt he would have been prosecuted for rape and you would have been carried on your merry way. So even the judge is basically saying that him being smart enough to record this interaction saved his life and saved him from prison. The incident occurred on April 18th, 2022, after Jones got drunk during a night out with friends from an argument with her partner. So she got an argument with her partner, then she got in a taxi and she got argumentative with a taxi driver, and she got dumped off at the roads on the roadside. And then after being brought home, Jones told police she had been raped by 3 Pakistani men who threatened to kill her if she did not do what she was told. She gave descriptions and said the incident lasted for 45 minutes, but the account given by the defendant was completely false. Understand, she took the guy's license plate, she described the men, she described the incident, she described a time frame in which it happened, and absolutely everything except for the license plate was false. It was made up in her drunken imagination. This guy barely dodged a bullet. And the people that say women don't just make things up, women don't just accuse a man of doing something if he did nothing, well, they have the recording of the incident, and the guy did nothing. But she made up a full-blown, detailed story. For what reason? To just harm the guy that helped her? Why? That's the biggest question out of all of this. Why would you do this to somebody that was nice to you? Why would you just do this to somebody that was helping you? This just shows you how problematic and troublesome this all is for anybody, but especially for men. They continue on. It was a very detailed police investigation that, quite frankly, wasted police's time and resources. Jones was later interviewed about her account and admitted to making it up, blaming her lies on being drunk. A woman taking accountability for something like kryptonite and Supergirl. She told officers, I got myself in such a stupid state. I've said things I should have never said. I'm a silly woman. I am disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. In mitigation to her counsel, Patrick Williamson said she'd been in a difficult place. You could have ended this guy's freedom. And in essence, I say it is ending his life because it ruins your job. It ruins your family. It ruins your marriage. It ruins your children's love and trust of you. It ruins your community, caring about you. It takes away all your friends. It strips a man of everything. That is taking his life. And she just says, oopsie doopsie, I had too much to drink. I'm silly. I'm stupid. And her counsel says she was in a difficult place. I don't give a fat shit if she was in a difficult place. Why are we protecting a woman that was going to destroy a good man? Why are you even if you have to publicly defend her, even if you're assigned by the courts and you must defend her, don't make excuses for her. Let's not do this as a country, as a society. This makes the world a worse place. Why are we doing this? In this case, following a detailed investigation, officers were able to reveal Rachel's web of lies. Yes, because the guy was smart enough to record it himself. If that guy didn't have this recording, even the judge said he'd probably be in jail. So the police did not do this great job of deep investigation. He said, here's audio or video or whatever it was. The police looked at it and they said, okay, case closed. Let's not pat ourselves on the back, female police officers, that you did such a great job. She falsely claimed that she'd had this done to her, leading to the arrest of innocent man. Only when faced with an irrefutable evidence did she finally admit that she had made up the allegations. She would have gone through with it without him proving otherwise. She would have gone through with it. She didn't back down because she felt bad. She would have gone through with it if he didn't have that recording. As a result of her wicked actions, she's now being held, quote unquote, accountable. 2 years? Sorry, no. All 5 kids, gone. Give them to their dads. Give them to the state. Put them up for adoption. Yes, that's a horrible thing to say, to take away kids from their mother. What kind of kids are going to be raised by a mother like this? She needs to be serving 10 to 15. The kids need to go to somebody that'll actually be a good adult supervisor for them, and she just needs to suffer for the rest of her life. I am so done with the double standards on this. Detective Superintendent Banusik said that she hoped the case did not impact on genuine people harmed by this kind of thing happening to them, SA and the rest of it, who may be fearful of coming forward. Wait a minute. Did she just cover for women? She just covered for women. She added she hoped the case did not impact on genuine women harmed by, SA and things like that, who may be fearful of coming forward, insisting we treat all reports of this nature extremely seriously. So at the end of all this, she says, I hope this doesn't keep women from coming forward. You know what would have been a better comment to share maybe at the end of this type of thing? Women need to stop lying, because the women that are lying are harming good men, and the women that are lying are harming the women that have had bad things done to them and that need help, because the men are not going to help you anymore. I can't believe that she literally just said, I hope women still come forward. I do too, but maybe we could talk about how the men have been harmed on this particular case. Do we really need to pander to women on a case like this? The UK is so broken, man. The UK is, so much of our society is so broken today. Listen, you need to be a strong man. You need to be a masculine man. You need to be a positive man and a good role model. And you do need to help society. In this case, would I have stopped to help somebody on the side of the road that I thought may have been taken advantage of or hurt or dumped out? Probably. And I feel stupid for saying that now. I genuinely feel stupid for saying I'd probably still help somebody. Maybe my being raised well outweighs me being smart. I don't know. But I can tell you this. I would record it. I'd put my camera on video and tuck it over like on the driver's side, like passenger handle or something or other, propping it up, showing me in camera full time, her in camera full time, and I'd have the screen visible. It'd be like in selfie mode. So if she glanced over, she could see I was recording it. And if she asked me if I'm recording it, I'd be like, you're damn right. I'm protecting myself. That's where we are now. And if I didn't have my phone, if I didn't have a way to protect myself, I think actually I could easily say, I don't think I'm helping anybody. I just don't. Maybe this is what they want, the destruction of society, one good man at a time. Guys, if you like my work, make sure to join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com, or for those of you on YouTube, at least get over to Rumble. The channel is Odd Man Out. Because I also do news stories over there. Anyway, come on over, join us. Great community of like-minded guys. You can sign up for free. Doesn't cost you anything. You can check out the forums, check out the topics we're talking about, and you can see the live streams that I've done in the past. And then if you say, hey, something, I kind of like this, I dig this, I want to be a part of this community where I can post and share things and join some of the live streams that I do for supporters only, it's $5 a month, which is literally less than a crappy cup of coffee from Starbucks. So come on over, join us today. I think you'll appreciate it. Enjoy the members only live streams that I do. It's a good time. It's a good community. So come on over, check it out, and you won't regret it.